So.
Okay, this is Jamie, and he volunteered to be our subject tonight. And I'm Dr. Nichols, and I'm sitting in the facilitator chair, and he's sitting in the, what chair did I tell you?
The change chair.
The change chair. Okay. Are you ready for some change tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. And so let's just sort of go through. I don't know what your problem was. I just know you said you wanted to change some mindsets earlier when we were asking why you would want to come to a training like this. And you're looking for some change and some answers, maybe?
Yeah, some answers. Just I don't know, doing different ways of doing whatever I'm doing what I'm doing. I just need more foundation.
Okay. Have you had some problems in the past?
Yeah.
Can you think of a problem that has been one major? What we're going to deal with tonight is we're going to deal with one problem. We're going to resolve the major problem that was the driver behind all the other problems that you've had. And once we get rid of the driver problem, the others don't have a foundation or a cornerstone to stand on now, will they?
No.
Okay. So without you telling me the problem is, can you think of that problem right now? Go back. Okay, and you saw it right about here? Take my hand when you're looking for the problem. Tell me when you got the right distance.
A little closer.
A little bit closer. Tell me where.
Right there.
Right there. Okay, and for the purpose of the conversation, would you tell me what color that is?
I don't understand what color.
Okay, just pretend you knew a color and assign a color to it as you get this picture. Does the picture have movement or is it static? The picture of the problem. This driver problem.
Probably has movement.
It has some movement. Is it fast or slow?
Slow.
Slow. Is it panoramic, meaning all the way around you, or is it boxed in a picture?
It's pretty well boxed in, though.
It's boxed. About how big is it? It's out here. Tell me about how big, so I can.
It covers my whole, it'd be like my whole peripheral vision, everything. That's all I can see.
It's your peripheral or your foveal vision?
The foveal. Yeah.
The foveal. It's all you can see right in front of you.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Does it go around you also? Or is it just in front of you?
It kind of blocks me from seeing anything.
Okay, it's so big that it's a blinder, so it doesn't cover the sides and go around you, but it's in front of you. And is this dead center? I want to put my hand in dead center. If you were to pinpoint.
No, it'd be right in the front of me, right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
This distance?
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is the correct distance as you focus on. Okay, that's what I wanted you to do. Okay, and what color did you say this moving picture?
Probably blue.
Blue?
Yeah.
Dark or light?
Dark.
Dark. Does it feel heavy or does it feel light on the body? Sense.
Heavy.
Does it have a smell to it?
No, I can't smell it.
And when you ever had it, did you have a smell to it when you had this problem?
No.
Is there a taste? Just pretend you had a taste. What would you say the taste was?
Bitter.
Bitter. So it's got a bitter taste to it. Okay. So it's right about here. Okay. Now, on this problem, how old were you when you first got this blue problem?
I've probably experienced it all my life.
All your life?
Yeah.
What age would you say you were when you first experienced it the first time from memory?
Probably 7.
Age 7. Do you think it could have been earlier than that?
It could have been.
Just pretend you went inside your head and your unconscious mind were to tell you exactly what it is.
Exactly what the problem is? Or?
No, exactly when it first occurred. The color. Because colors are easier to pick up than the first problem.
If I were to have to pick a color from back then, it would be black.
Oh, black. That's even worse than the blue. Is that heavier and more bitter than the other?
Blue is kind of bittersweet.
Bittersweet, but the black, how is that?
The black is just it's very bitter.
Very bitter. So one is bittersweet.
Yeah.
The blue, which is a more mellow color, but black tells it all, does it not?
Yeah.
Okay. And is it right there, or is it sort of pinpoint black? We've shifted the color a little bit.
I'll be back further.
Back this way?
Yeah.
Tell me when.
Right there.
Right about there. Okay. Because that's where you were the first time.
Yeah.
See? And then you were thinking. So we don't have to know. Can you remember what it was? And if you don't, it doesn't really matter.
To loneliness, the emptiness.
An emptiness,
Yeah,
okay.
and it's made me strive for never be happy.
But remember, this is going to be before age 7. So
Yeah.
how old do you think you were when you got this first blackness?
I have to say 7. It's the first time I experienced loss.
Your first loss.
I remember, yeah.
Okay. Can you remember what the loss was?
Yeah, my grandfather died.
And how did you feel? I can see it. It feels, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I guess to put it in a child's language, I felt probably like my whole world, like there was nothing else in the world.
Okay. So it's total.
I didn't understand nothing.
Understand. I get a sense of emptiness. With blackness, you get you get a lot of other things.
Yeah.
With despair can be bittersweet, but blackness is total loss. I see some tears in your eyes right now. And am I correct? Yes.
I
can see a little bit.
Experience with it might be there, yeah.
Yeah, I see some with the light reflecting on your eyes there. I'm pointing that out for the audience here. That I can see some stuff, and you can tell you're starting to clam up a little bit there. That clammy feeling, is that the sort of something? I can see that there's something there. So it's right out here. Okay. Now, did you ever deal with the loss of your grandfather? That first thing? Did you ever take it through resolution?
No, a couple years ago I went through a different type of counseling.
Okay. Let's don't worry about what you did there. We're only going to deal with resolving. But it never got resolved, because I can tell you it's not resolved. It's still unfinished business. But you ready to finish it up right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're no longer in denial, so I can tell you've done some of the denial work, so you already recognize you got a problem. Okay, let's just say, but I recognize a problem, but I still got the problem. Can you just say that?
Yeah. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem.
Now I want you to say that 26 times. Now you said it once. We're going to do some things different here tonight.
All right. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem.
That's right.
I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem.
That's right.
I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem.
That's right.
I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem.
That's right. You recognize the problem, but you still have the problem.
I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem. I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem.
One more time, and say it so you convince me. Convince me.
I recognize the problem, but I still have the problem.
Okay, did you notice where you stumbled and changed your speed of your speech while you were going through this on number 17 and number 24? Did you feel a shift as you were talking through? Did I notice that?
I did early, like around 15 or 17.
Yeah, okay, it was number 7. I was keeping track. I was using these as my counters. This is my calculator right here. I just keep track on my fingers. That's the reason God gave us fingers to count. So I counted, and my count was you went through the first shift at 17. You thought of somewhere around 14, 15, because you weren't counting. You were saying it. And then you also ran the statement together real fast twice, and that was sort of when that was happening. Is that when it happened? Because there was a shift in your nervous system of making a change. You know what a knee-jerk reaction is, don't you?
No.
If I were to take a hammer, and you had your knee placed on the other one like this, and I were to hit it, and it would bounce up like that, that's knee-jerk, right? Isn't that where they get the expression? Well, what we're looking for is, in your reactions, as I go through this with you, I'm looking for either macro or micro knee-jerk reactions. I'm looking for changes in your physiology and what you're experiencing. So how do you feel now as you recognize the problem? Are you sort of in touch with it and you recognize that it's there?
Yeah, but I've been pretty much in touch with it, just not knowing how to deal with it, because it affects my whole life.
Okay, but it was still bothering you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What if you could get this thing resolved tonight? Would that be good?
Yeah, because if I get it resolved, it resolves a lot of things in my life.
What was the thing when your world came tumbling down on you? What would you think the problem was? What would you state now it was?
I didn't understand everything that was going on.
Okay, just say it. Okay, let's do it.
I didn't understand everything that was going on and why my grandpa died.
I've heard you say that 3 or 4 times now. Okay, so that's an underlying statement. Just say that right now. I didn't understand
I didn't understand
what was going on.
what was going on.
Say it. There we go.
I didn't understand what was going on. 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 I didn't understand what was going on.
You got 3 more to go.
I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand what was
State
going on.
it one more time.
I didn't understand what was going on.
If we were to change the color, would you understand what was going on now as an adult? As a child, you didn't understand, but as an adult, would you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would make a difference. If you knew then what you know now, would that make a difference?
Yeah.
Okay, so could you say, I now understand what was going on?
Yeah, I now understand what was going on.
There we
I
go.
now understand what was going on. I 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 now understand what was going on.
Say one more time to convince me. This will put you at 27. Just say
I
it.
now understand what was going on.
And you understand what was going on?
Yeah.
Could you feel a shift? I could tell you got a smile on your face when you hit somewhere around 15. So for you, 15 could be the exact number where you really start shifting. Could you feel the shift as you started putting that in perspective?
I don't know if the shift is where I put it in perspective, because it's like, as I look back, now I know, since I found where the pain comes from, I understand that death is part of life.
Okay. Now where did the pain come from?
The pain comes from back then, of not knowing, when I look back into my life, of not knowing why Grandpa died, not knowing, nobody wants to tell me anything other than Grandpa went to heaven.
How do you feel now when people don't tell you what's going on and they give you a euphemistic answer?
The rejection.
You feel rejection.
Yeah.
So would you say that possibly rejection is one of the drivers, because they didn't tell you and you felt left out and they didn't explain it to you? So not knowing the truth nor understanding is a form of rejection.
Yeah.
And who do you feel rejection from, them, or you feel rejecting yourself? Explain what you mean by the rejection, as best you can.
I've never really felt a part of what was going on in my life, and
that's to show that you're not rejected. Somebody cares about you.
Yeah, they want me to work.
Yeah, they want you to work, and that's always good. Yeah.
No, always in my life there's been a lot of I'm doing other things, of course, but in my life the rejection I feel is always attached to loneliness, to emptiness, to not feeling important.
Okay, so even feeling important.
Yeah, so it's the rejection. I'm finding out that the rejection is a big part of not being able to make choices or decisions in a corporate setting.
So it's been limiting you. This
Yeah.
rejection of loneliness and being out there by yourself and being right out here with the black when you're trying to make an adult decision has hindered you from getting you where you want to be. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if we could shift that? So, okay, you've got that as a pretty good picture. Now, I want you to think of a solution. Just pretend you could come up with a solution. Could you do that? Let's say God, because you came in here as a Christian for this particular training, so we'll for the purpose of our training and putting it on the video, we're going to use, because that's your